Hey everybody, much peace to you and welcome to my YouTube channel or my IGTV channel. Today's topic is about alchemy and the shadow self. How to really step into that full, complete part of yours. And in the process, in my own personal experience, I had to realize that, well, things are not perfect, okay? And me neither, I'm not perfect. And I had to really learn to dance, and I had to learn to accept unaccepted parts about myself, because this is what the shadow is, unaccepted parts about ourselves. You know, if we cannot accept our negative side, then we cannot step into our full, complete self. Now, how do we alchemize? Well, I believe that alchemy is mostly about our state of consciousness. Okay, it is also related to our experiences, and sometimes our experiences, they seem to work against us, but in essence they don't work against us, they always work in our favor. Because what I believe to happen is the fact that everything that is happening is actually happening from a higher vibrational spiritual purpose. Okay, it means that everything that you are experiencing right now and everything that you have experienced so far has happened for you to actually learn a lesson, has happened from a higher vibrational spiritual purpose. There is this Indian proverb that says that everything that is happening exactly as it is meant to happen. And I've seen that when I've recognized this in my own personal experience, I got to actually raise my levels of trusting. You know, I got to raise my levels of awareness. And you know, you don't have to expect perfection from life, okay? You don't have to expect perfection. You have to really learn to love yourself unconditionally. Okay, this is how to alchemize, and this is how to actually accept your shadows. Okay, you have to love yourself unconditionally. You have to respect yourself unconditionally. You have to give yourself the time, freedom, and space necessary for you to actually heal, for you to actually improve, for you to actually be in your best state of consciousness. So I've seen that again, life is not perfect. It is perfect in its imperfection. And when we get to really look at ourselves honestly, and when we get to see what our belief system is about, when we get to see what our consciousness is about, we get to actually realize that we have a unique side. You know, we get to realize that we have a unique side. We have a unique blueprint in our own consciousness. We have a unique soul signature. And we have to really focus on our uniqueness. This is what I'm realizing in my own journey. I had to focus on my uniqueness. I had to focus on my self-expression. I had to accept certain circumstances in my life. I had to accept certain experiences. And again, these experiences were not perfect, but what I've realized was the fact that they were actually happening for me. Okay, they were happening for me. They were happening for me to either win the game or learn a lesson, you know? So it's not perfect, but it is perfect in its imperfection. And what I've seen is the fact that when I got to accept myself, so many of the things were changing. And I got to see that I shouldn't actually take things so seriously. You know, I shouldn't take things so seriously, and I need to actually express myself. Okay, so my suggestion is, if you really want to alchemize your experiences, if you really want to alchemize your emotional body, realize that actually life is not that serious. You know, life is not that serious. And you gotta laugh more. You know, you gotta laugh more, you gotta accept more, you gotta really get into that state that fits you best. So it's about self-love. I realize that self-love actually fixes so many of the things in our lives. And I believe that so many of us, we have forgotten to love ourselves, you know, but the magic is happening within. Go within or you go without. Be still and know that you are the universe. And you are the universe, okay? You are higher consciousness, guys. So I've seen that it's about really getting to alchemize the process. You know, it's not always about the destination. It's more likely about finding the consciousness and finding the abundance and finding the love in the process. You know, I don't have to be so much focused on the outcome. I have to actually enjoy the process. I have to enjoy the journey. You know, this is alchemy. It's also about being humble sometimes and really getting to be human sometimes, you know, vulnerable, accepting yourself, accepting your imperfections. So yeah, they knew this in ancient times. In ancient Egypt, they used alchemy to turn negative experiences in their favor, you know. So it's strongly related to your emotional body. Heal your emotional body. How do you heal your emotional body? Well, you look honestly and deep at yourself, and you accept unaccepted parts about yourself. Because I believe that life actually gives us the opportunity to heal, but this actually doesn't happen mostly in a fast way, you know. Healing is constant, and you turn back to certain experiences and you realize deeper truths about yourself and about those experiences. So healing is a process. It's a constant process. I realized that someone said that life is not a race, it is not a sprint, it is actually a marathon. So my suggestion is take yourself slowly and give yourself the time, freedom and space necessary to actually be anything that you desire. Because you have the power to be anything that you desire. You know, you have the power to be your best version. But in order to get there, you need to be patient. You know, you need to learn to appreciate, because what you appreciate appreciates you back. Perception creates reality, guys. So be grateful, even for the most dark experiences, even for the negative thoughts that you have, even from the fear that you have. Love it, embrace it, and watch it dissolve. You know, I believe that gratefulness will lead to happiness. If you are being grateful, then the universe will respond, because now you create in your awareness the space of higher consciousness. You create in your awareness the space of abundance, you know. So yeah, I believe that we always have the opportunity to alchemize our experiences. You know, we always have the opportunity to alchemize our experiences. And again, some experiences have the power to wound us. You know, they have the power to put us down. Some childhood belief systems may work against us, but it's about acknowledgement. You know, it's about acknowledgement. It's about looking at ourselves honestly and allowing things to be there, you know. Accept it and see what happens. Accept yourself and see what happens. I used to deal with shame. You know, this was my childhood issue. I was very shy, and I still have moments where I'm feeling that I can't express myself. But I realized that it's not to be taken so seriously, you know. It's about really going and looking deep at my belief systems and getting to question them, you know. Looking at my own ways in which I express myself and getting to actually operate from and as love, you know. So operate more from love. Operate more from love and see what happens. Because love has the power to purify, you know. Love transcends hate. This is what I'm realizing. Love transcends hate. Forgive yourself. Forgive your enemies. Forgive those who have wounded you. Because maybe it wasn't even your mistake, you know. It was just something that you need to forgive. So yeah, realize that everything that is happening is actually happening for you, but you gotta face your shadow, okay? You gotta face your imperfections. You gotta step into that state of consciousness that is represented by completeness. And of course, you cannot say that, okay, I'm complete and now I'm perfect. You are perfect in your you are complete in your incompleteness, and you are perfect in your imperfection. So my suggestion is, don't expect perfection from life, and don't expect perfection from yourself. Just Be with what is and accept what is. Let go of what was and trust what will be. Because life is constantly resetting itself. You should be constantly resetting yourself, and you should be constantly integrating yourself, okay? You have the power to integrate your past experiences. You have the power to integrate your shadow. You have the power to integrate the most negative things and really get to use them, okay? So connect back to your heart space, because the answer is in the heart. If you listen, you win. If you cannot listen, you learn, you know? So yeah guys, this is today's message about the shadow and alchemy. Realize that maybe most of us, we have unaccepted parts about ourselves. We have unaccepted parts, we have imperfections, but we all have the opportunity to actually accept ourselves, you know? So accept yourself and see what happens. Guys, thanks so much for watching. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment. Also, if you wish to work with me on a one-on-one level, feel free to send me a message. And if you wish to be part of my spiritual podcast called Constantly Awakening, feel free to also send me a message. Much peace and namaste to you. Accept yourself and see what happens. If you accept, you actually release resistance. Accept yourself and see what happens. I love you so much. Much peace and see ya.